In 3 weeks, I applied to 20 places. I got 3 responses. 2 of them said that they would either call me or set up an interview time. 1 of them actually did it out of the 3 places that responded. I just had the interview today, which is February the 6th. And I want to talk about persistence for a second. So I'm at a job right now that I'm not very fond of. I'm not a fan of the industry. I'm not a fan of a lot of the work culture stuff. And because of that, I've been searching for another opportunity, working somewhere else. And I didn't realize how awful it was to try to switch industries. See, I work in the food industry, and it's actually pretty easy to get into it. As the hiring manager, I'm more than likely going to hire you as long as you don't present any red flags, like job hopping or having a terrible attitude during the interview, or if you show up late. Those are things that would almost immediately disqualify you for. But what I didn't understand whenever I got into this industry was that going from food to retail is a pretty hard jump. See, I'm lucky. Working as an AGM means that I have a lot of opportunities for leadership and development growth. I get to, as a manager, learn broader skills outside of just food and customer service, because as a retail supervisor, which is what I'm trying to become right now, you need to have those leadership management skills. But it's frustrating knowing that you're going from a higher position down to a lower one because you have to switch industries. So I want to talk about persistence. Because I applied 20 places, I got 1 interview. Assuming the interview works out, that means that I spent probably closer to 12 to 15 hours of applying and filling out applications and adjusting my resume for the jobs in order to get a job. And the question is, was it worth it? I think it's relative. I have a lot of people that I work with that are frustrated with where they're at in life. They don't want to be in the industry that they're at, the position that they're at, the pay rate that they're at. But instead of going out and doing what I've done, which is every single shift, after every single shift, I'll go out and I'll apply to 3 or 4 places a night. They'll sit there and accept the fact that they can't get a job somewhere else and just deal with it. I think that's sad, and I'm assuming that there's people out there that are doing the same, that they're working a job that they don't like, or an education system they don't agree in, or whatever it might be. And you have to take some form of active effort to get out of those circumstances. It's very rare and unlikely that someone's going to hand you a magical key that unlocks the door for you to move on to something new that you enjoy. People don't hand you YouTube subscribers. They don't hand you people that will comment on your videos. You're not handed the skill sets necessary to be able to succeed where you want to. You have to learn and develop those skill sets over a certain length of time to be proficient enough to be able to be successful. And until you learn to adopt persistence and learn to accept that there's going to be some front-loaded work that you have to put in to change your circumstances, you're going to be stuck. And I'm terrified of the idea that I could become so complacent that I become stuck in a certain job. See, I had planned on leaving my current workplace after a year. I just wanted 1 year of management experience, then I was going to move on. However, because I got promoted in under a year, I sucked it up and stayed longer so I could gain some experience in higher management. The trade-off, unfortunately, was and is my mental health. The job that I'm currently working at makes me depressed. I do not like being there. I dread the shifts, and a 10-hour shift will feel like 12 or 13 hours. And whenever I get to that point in a job, I typically look to move on because obviously it's not worth being miserable 40 hours to 50 hours a week when you could have another job paying the same or more even, doing something that you might enjoy even more, or working in an industry you enjoy more, or whatever it might be. So the message here that I'm trying to give you is that you have the power and the ability to change your life. Now, that does not mean that this will be an easy process. You will have to struggle. You will have to fight in order to better your circumstances. But it is possible. There are ways to do it. You have to look beyond what you believe is your full potential and aim higher. And by doing so, you may surprise yourself with what you can accomplish. I hope you guys enjoyed this more of a ramble video because, that's all I do here. If you enjoyed, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. Do not forget to keep it casual.